So let us create one of our first simple animations. Please go to your project files and open up the keyframes and interpolation file. Either CS6 version or the CC15 if you have the newest version of the program. Once you open the program, the same screen should appear before you. You should have the two icons and several layers here. Please go to the left side and turn all the layers on by clicking on the first one and dragging down. Now we have solid layers in front of us. I would like to reveal those bottom layers with a nice transition. That transition will be made of those layers. Let me use keyframes and a few tricks to prepare this animation. Go to the very beginning of the animation. Place your timer on the 0 second. Now please click on the black solid, hit P on your keyboard to open up the position property and hit the little stopwatch. Now I want my transition to take about maybe 1 second, maybe 2 seconds. I will see how it looks and we adjust that later. Once you have put your timeline on the first second, click on this black layer and start moving it. I will press my shift key to remain on the same axis and I will place the black background just outside of the composition. Like this. 2 keyframes have appeared and now I have several possibilities of editing. I can take the next layer and also place the keyframes, or I can select those 2 keyframes, hit this layer and click Ctrl V or Command V if you are on the Mac, and the same keyframes will be added to the layer which I have selected here. Let me press the P key. What has happened? Those keyframes were added exactly where the timer is in our animation, but I wanted those keyframes to be here in the front. That's no problem. We can of course adjust it, and I will see later that I've made a mistake. So I will select the second layer. I press the I key on my keyboard to go to the input. I select the keyframes and I just drag them over here to the first place. An animation like that would be boring, so I either can take this layer and place it a few frames forward, or I can take the keyframes and place them a few frames forward. This would create a nice animation that one layer is fading after another layer. You can do as you want. You can either move the keyframes or move this layer. Okay, I decided that I'm moving the keyframes. I will first copy them and then start moving. I Ctrl C those keyframes, Ctrl V, Ctrl V, Ctrl V. Now I select all 5 layers. I press U on the keyboard to reveal them. I could also press P to reveal the position property. I have all keyframes visible. Now I want to click my page down key 3 times for each layer. 1, 2, 3, select the keyframes, move them here. 1, 2, 3, select the keyframes and move them here. So they will be placed a bit forward. 1, 2, 3, keyframe here, and 1, 2, 3, keyframe here. Now let us preview the animation we are doing. Well, it's okay, but it's very plain and boring. What you can do inside of After Effects is select all keyframes, right click on them, go to Keyframe Assistant and press on Easy Ease. This will ease the animation. We will talk a bit more extensive once we go inside of the graph editor, but for your basic animations, it's enough if you easy ease them in or easy ease them both sides. You see graphically those keyframes have changed because now they are easy eased from left and easy eased at the outside. This has changed the motion of the keyframe. Now let us preview the animation. It already looks more interesting, but still, the animation is going on. I have my little reveal, but I would also like to hide my layers. This would be no problem. I select those keyframes. Once again, maybe place your timer on the 5th second and press Ctrl V. But what do we have now? Now we would have a little error because it is revealing and it's revealing again. This creates of course problems in the animation. I can get rid of this by right clicking on it, Keyframe Assistant, and time reverse those keyframes. Now the keyframes would be changed because at first we moved this composition to the right, we copied the keyframes, and since we time reversed them, it will now copy from right to left because this little keyframe is on the end, not on the beginning. And this would be how I can hide my entire transition. I'll select both keyframes. I once again go to my keyframe assistant, right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease, and I can now preview what I have done in terms of transitioning into my first animation. I press the spacebar, I have a nice reveal, the icon is growing bigger, and it fades away between the black wall. These are the basics about keyframes and interpolation. I know you realize what an amazing tool that is. This will change your point of view towards graphic design overall, and you will start to like motion design because those keyframes allow us to do such amazing things. Thank you for your attention in this lesson where I was explaining what are keyframes and what is interpolation, and we made a simple animation to practice this on a real project. Thank you for your attention and head over to the next lessons.